Good morning. Today, me and my teammates are going to present about overfishing. Let's see the index. The first slide content of introduction to overfishing. The second is definition. The third is impact. And the fourth conclusion. And the fifth is suggestion. And the sixth is the related diagram of overfishing.
So, I'm gonna talk about the introduction to overfishing. Introduction to overfishing. Overfishing can be defined in a number of ways. However, everything comes down to one simple point. Catching too much fish for the system to support leads to an overall degradation to the system. Overfishing is non-sustainable use the ocean. Below a few definitions used by organization and government. The practice of commercial and non-commercial fishing will displace a fishery by catching so many adult fish that not enough remain to breed and replenish the population. Overfishing exceeds the carrying capacity of a fishery. Catching too many fish. Fishing so much that the fish cannot sustain their population. The fish get fewer and fewer until finally they are known to catch. Fishing with a sufficiently high intensity reduces the breeding stock levels to such an extent that they will no longer support a sufficient quantity of fish for sport or commercial harvest. Worldwide, fishing fleets are 2 to 3 times as large as needed to take present-day catches of fish and other marine species, and as what our oceans can sustainably support on a global scale will have enough fishing capacity to cover at least 4 Earth-like planets.
Let's see what is the definition of overfishing. Overfishing is catching too many fish at once, so the breeding population becomes too depleted to recover. Overfishing often goes hand in hand with wasteful types of commercial fishing that haul in massive amount of unwanted fish or other animals, which are then discarded. The WWF defines overfishing as occurs when more fish are caught than the population that can replace through the natural production. Gathering as many fish possible may seem like a profit, but overfishing has a serious consequence, and we need to realize that. The result not only can affect the marine life, but it also can affect the social or economic well-being of a normal person in daily lives. Next, let's see what are the causes of overfishing. First point is illegal fishing activities. For example, like poaching or taking more than the allowed amount of fish and fishing out of the season can be said as the illegal activity of fishing. The second point is economic and food needs. According to facts, in last 100 years, the population of humans are being increased. So the number of consumer of the fish also increases. Due to this action, the fishers need to catch more fish than the seas can replace. The third point is the poor fishery management. The fishing industry down by a lack of management oversight and proper government regulations. So some people did not even scared to catch fish even though they do not have the proper license or permission to do that in a sea. Another point is lack of knowledge regarding fish populations. Nowadays, the people only think about they eating fish, but if we ask them about the fact of fish, they can't even answer for that. So they need to be alert of the fish population on this earth. Now we will see the impact of overfishing to human and environment. First, it's about human. The first point is the threat to local food sources. There are a number of communities around the world that rely on fish as their primary resource for food. The growth of overfishing has caused a threat to these communities. Moreover, without the proper source of food, communities on this world will be struggle to continue their daily life. The second point is financial losses. Some fishermen's life depend on the job of catching fishes as their source of income. For example, the fishermen in kampong areas are depend on their source of income that come by the fishing. For example, the fishermen in kampong areas all depend on the source of income that coming by catching fishing. So when they could not catch it every day or it decreases by day, this action will affect their future life. Next, let's see what is the impact to the environment. First point is imbalance of the marine ecosystem. When a particular species of fish is caught repeatedly and in an unchecked manner, the food chain of the water body is affected too. As a result of that, many species of fishes depend on the one particular species. They suffer due to lack of food and dies finally. Next, it will rise of the endangered species. The untargeted species fishes will soon turn into the endangered species. It is because when we do not protect some marine life, it also can be listed as the endangered species, plus it will become as the extinct species if didn't take the proper action. The next points will be explained by my teammates Shira and Nor Atika.
Right now, I'm gonna talk about the conclusion. Looking at this effect, it can be said that overfishing is definitely a global issue that is affecting the environment as extensively, as well as communities, large and small. If something is not done and if sustainable fishing practices are not implemented on a global scale, the negative effect of overfishing will worsen and we will see depletion of many more species of fish. It's an important crisis not only for our economy but for our health and for the ocean as a whole, because if this continue, people can catch and eat seafoods because they'd be instinct and the sea would eventually become empty of fish altogether. Government should consider putting a limit on catches and monitoring how much fish is caught by each fishery. They should also consider reducing the amount of fishing vessels belonging to them and banning factory trawlers from entering their country's water. The world's government as a whole should seriously consider having the world fishing fleets. Besides from the government and environmental organization, the public can also do something to help conquer overfishing and its devastating effects. People can help by doing this, such as eating less fish and avoiding fish producers who are suspect or drift netting and overfishing. They can also help by joining organizations. In conclusion, overfishing is a major issue in our ocean. There have been many fish species that have been already caught, and many others that are on the verge of being fully caught. However, with technology and legislative support, we could create a framework that separates every issue being caused by overfishing and solve it separately. Overfishing and its associated problems. Super fisheries managers to resist their management same.
The next slide is the suggestion how to improve the overfishing issue. Okay, first one is working with the government, the lack of regulation and specific policy, and the fact that fishing has been an industry tied to the history of human and civilization. Many groups like the World Wildlife Fund are helping countries learn to prepare the quick and effective management protocol. Second, helping developing countries, because fishing is a crucial industry in a many poor and developing nations. Conservation efforts are focusing on helping these areas set up procedures to ensure sustainability in the long run. The third suggestion is educating retailers. Another way that conservationists are trying to change the problem of overfishing is by working with the retailer to educate them on a way to purchase their seafood from sustainable fisheries. The hope is that by building support for the cause on this level, more pressure will be put on the fisheries to comply with the standard. 4. Reducing the subsidy. Many governments subsidy the fishing industry with the subsidies in an effort to keep the industry thriving. The problem with this is that it incentives fishermen to continue to expand, which means that subsidies only end up contributing to the problem of the overfishing. 5. More protected marine area. Set up more protected area in the ocean is an effort to help reduce the effect of the overfishing on some of the world's most incredible reefs and marine structure. And the last one is creation of more protected area. Create protected area could be regulated with strict rules and proper aquaculture practice. It could stop overfishing once and for all. This is the related diagram of overfishing. Okay, first one, we can see the disruption of marine food web and the food chains. Okay, as we know, a growing body of scientific evidence show the danger for the predator in the high volume of forage fish, overfishing, or the prey fish, and every other living organism involved in the food web and also the food chain. When the population of predator species such as shark or tuna is declining, it results in an increase of forage fish, which it can turn cause on the increased growth of algae, which threaten the coral reef healthy, and a disruption to the ecosystem. Okay, the second diagram is secondary effect by catch on the marine species. Okay, whenever there is commercial fishing, that is the bycatch, or we can say is the incidental capture, and the loss of the non-targeted marine animal and recognized as a major threat to marine biodiversity worldwide. Bycatch effect the loss of the billion of fish along the marine turtles, sea whales, dolphins, seabirds, invertebrates, corals, and many other species. Global bycatch is estimated at 7.3 million tons. Endangered marine species incidentally affected by the commercial fishing is vaquita. Second one is a giant devil ray, and the third one is a New Zealand sea lion. That's all from us, and thank you for your attention.